interesting nangyayari dito. Si Asi nga nanonood. Okay, papakita natin. In the meantime, Chris Ellis starts the ball game with that layup.
Chris Ellis also a beneficiary that Ginebra plays much faster now, shooting over close to 60% in the conference.
Meantime, here's Mike Singletary shooting over Japet. Let's go over the primary protagonists on the floor for Ginebra. They are in immaculate white. Mark the Spark Tagiwa, L.A. Tenorio, Chris Ellis, Dior Lowhorn, and Japet Aguilar. For Barako Bull, we have JC Intal, Mike Singletary, Nick Penisi, Ron J. Buenafe, and my favorite minion of all time, Eamon Montfort, as L.A. blocked by Mick.
We talk about all the other guys. We talked about Danny Siegel and many of the Barako veterans, but Mick Penisi has been putting up very solid numbers this conference, averaging double-digit rebounds.
Here's Japet, actually matched up against Singletary. Here's Kagiwa. Kagiwa on the move, handoff, Lowhorn, and connects.
Has to be, in terms of athletic ability, hindi siya yung isa doon sa mga pinakamataas na athletic ability doon sa group ng imports natin. But that's where he's gonna attack you down in the paint using his size.
He has to be the widest among all the imports. Siya yung nag-iisang mukhang football player. American football.
Pero alam mo, kahit yung ganyan yung katawan niya, but the import of Alaska, I think, is the strongest import in the lot. Sa lakas ng katawan, ha?
He scored what? 28 points? Yung rebound putback lang.
Hindi lang na tumitira sa labas eh. Nagmukhang mahina nga katawan ni Abueva sa kanya.
That's true, yeah. Si McInnes, impressive considering that he's not really athletic, pero siya talent. Meantime, here's Lowhorn, and back-to-back hits for Lowhorn in the opening quarter.
And he's showing us that he too has that, he can use his body, yung size niya.
2 minutes having gone by in the opening quarter. Montfort over to Singletary. Singletary baseline outside. Buenafe, that's the specialty of the house.
This is good ball movement on the part of Barako Bull. Started out with a nice pick and roll, and then nag-rotate yung depensa. Mike Singletary, kita natin, willing to pass the basketball.
They go back to Lowhorn, and he misses that time, and that will be last touch on Chris Ellis.
One thing with Lowhorn is that doesn't really look to pass when he gets the basketball. Only 1 assist per game. So in 2 games, he's just had 2 assists total.
As Montfort misses, you can make an argument as Ginebra runs here. Well, traditionally, I would say 80% of imports not really out there to pass the ball. Kasi I think top of mind would be guys like Kenny Redfield. Yung mga imports who actually enjoy distributing the ball as we check out our Photon Strong Drive. Brought to you by Photon. Empower your business.
And to be fair, he's going to be one of those guys that may spend more time with his back to the basket, so he doesn't really see what's going on in the offensive end. Most of our imports, if not all, madalas sila nakaharap doon sa basket niyan because of the size that they have.
Some problems in the backcourt for Barako, and here's Brgy for 3. Rebound for Lowhorn. I have to admit though, he doesn't look like a guy named Dior. Laki as Ellis uncorks, and the rebound goes to Penisi.
Pag nakita mo yung pangalan, niisip mo, designer to.
Signature As Mark Agiwa snatches the ball away, goes with the behind-the-back dribble, goes between the legs. He attacks, floater is good.
The ability of Mark Agiwa to make and create baskets, hindi talaga nawawala. The dribbling ability and the burst of quickness to get that shot up.
3-point game for Ginebra as Mike Singletary makes it a 1-point game after scoring his first 2 points tonight.
Should expect a high-scoring game. Barako Bull, one of the teams that actually put up a lot of points on the board.
Sukatawan eh. Tiklob si Mick eh.
He's still upset. Well, they made the mistake of actually jumping.
Telling referee na nasikot daw siya sa dibdib. Meantime, here's Singletary hangs in the air and scores.
And LA is actually pointing to Mick Pinisi. D.R. Lohorn could not help because hinahawakan. Look at the bottom of the screen. Hinahawakan ni Mick Pinisi si Lohorn. Hindi siya makahelp eh.
Para-paraan na lang. We're all tied at 10 apiece with 7.5 to go in the opening period. By the way, earlier, Meralco winning over Talk and Text, 92-86. A bit surprising because Talk and Text already had the Gilas boys back except for Jimmy Alapat.
Yeah, but to be fair to Talk and Text, those three guys that came back, they also haven't practiced with that group of players na nandyan rin para sa Talk and Text. And Meralco, they've been close a number of times. And
I suppose you give the Talk and Text Gilas boys maybe a couple of games.
Yes.
And more practices with their teammates din. Approaching the halfway mark of the opening quarter, and Singletary 1 against Japit. Up defense by Lohorn, and referee Edward Aquino sees a foul.
Grabe rin yung batch of imports natin. You look at the imports that we have, you can't even point one particular guy that is far and above better than the rest. There's so many guys that are averaging over 30 points a game, have scored 40, and are walking highlights as well.
Earlier, Mario West scored 47. Tony Mitchell can score 47. You know, on a hot night, he probably could.
Kanina nakita natin kay Tony Mitchell, most of did not take as much shots as he was taking in the first two games of Talk and Text.
As LA spins, and foul is against Eman Montfort. First personal against Eman, and that is the second team foul against Barako Bull. And to shoot for Ginebra, LA operating from the left side. He fires the three. Here's Buenafe. That's a turnover.
Did hit the leg of Ryan Buenafe.
Sabi na nga ba fan ka eh? Secret fan ka ni Ryan Buenafe. Ayaw pa aminin.
Lalo na sa Sunday.
Meantime, here's Lohorn. And Lohorn goes baseline. From Lohorn.
Having a good first quarter. D.R. Lohorn already with 8 points. Reminiscent of his first game, and during his first game, dami niya ginawa nung first quarter, pero pagkatapos nun, ang laki naman ng drop-off niya pagkatapos.
Lohorn has 8 of Ginebra's 12 points in the opening quarter. Here's Ronjay Buenafe. Ronjay spins. Shot and a rebound for Lohorn.
I did tell you that he's always looking to shoot pag ginawa ka na yung bola. Naniniwala ka na.
Sabi nila, post player. As JC used to play for Ginebra, connects. And Barako with the lead here, 13-12.
You know, JC's actually having a fairly decent conference. Quietly being one of the contributors for his squad.
Always nice to see JC healthy.
Yun ang importante.
As Kagiwa misses, and Japet misses the putback. Oh, 2 misses from Japet. Meantime, here's Montfort. Barako up by 1. And JC goes back to Eman. Montfort for 3. Yes, sir! And Eman Montfort gives Barako a 4-point advantage, 16-12. Back in a moment.
You guys are still watching PBA on IBC. Dalawang energy teams sa magkatapat ngayong gabi. Barako Bull Energy and Barangay Ginebra San Miguel. Parehong galing sa panalo at parehong inaasahan ang kanilang depensa para makaisa ulit. Para sa Barako, malaki pa rin ang inaasahan kay Michael Singletary, kay Danny Seagull, kay Ronjay Buenafe at syempre kay Eman Montfort to deliver and execute their plays on both ends. At para naman sa Ginebra, alalay lang daw sa kanilang turnovers and maximize their second chance points para masiguro ang panalo. Balik sa inyo dyan, guys.
You know, there's something different with Erica tonight. TV. Demure vibes. Oh, not used to it actually. I guess you got a big. I think we're early in the tournament pa eh.
Bakit naman ano? Isn't it Canada Day ba kayo? Di ba?
Hindi kasi inaaral na natin yung mga pwedeng yung lalaro sa World. Oh, ayun pa lang we're doing our assignment. Now, meantime, the man on the line is the Spark Kagiwa. He's wearing that compression shirt and I guess, more and more players, getting into the compression system. May sleeve, may yung sa legs, may t-shirt na.
Kahapon na kita ko yung di ba Thursday? Meron ako yung mga frame sa bahay, picture. Di ba dati meron ako yung cut-offs? Sabi ko yung pala yung sinimula ng compression shirt.
Yung ginupit na t-shirt na puti. Lead down, here's Montfort. Maganda rin sana kung nakuha ni Japet tapos challenge ni Montfort yun, sa fast break. Sasabayan ni Eman.
Bakit di makita ni Japet na sumabay si Eman?
Here's Ellis. 16-14, Barako ball on top by 2 as we approach the last 4 minutes of the opening period. Japet, that pass was intended for Lohorn. Ends up with LA. This offensive going nowhere for Ginebra, and LA finds a way, and Japet is fouled.
They're hoping he's not hurt.
Japet is still down.
And he's pointing to his knee.
His right knee.
You see, this is a very good setup on the part of LA tonight. And Japet goes hard.
Kasi wala namang nakatama sa kanya. It's how he landed.
Yeah, because of the contact in the air and parang paatras siya nakuha. Yeah. You can see.
Yeah, Singletary got him on the forearm. Tapos yung pang-landing yan, mag-isa lang si Japet when he landed. Tama ba?
Yeah. You have all your weight going one direction and you're pulled going the other way.
A big hat for Japet who's sprung off the floor, and that's always a good sign na hindi ka inaakay patayo. There's a very concerned look from Francis Chua. Tutulungan muna si Japet to get back on the bench. Head coach Ato Agustin talking with Japet, checking on his condition.
He has to shoot the free throws.
Kasi may 2 free throws siya eh. Ayun, ibabalik ngayon siya sa free throw line. It's actually Mark Kagiwa.
Akay pa rin ni Mark.
Yeah. Mark Kagiwa will escort him to the free throw line.
You can see Singletary apologizing dahil he went for the ball.
Tumipi time. Okay, let's see how Japet fares here. Remember, he's the thing that sting dun sa kanyang right knee. I don't think he can bend it. So he has to shoot this Arwin Santos style. Don't bend the knees. Na-bend din niya. Okay, paano to?
Foul.
Give up a foul. We're not giving up a foul.
You can give up a foul
Japet
anywhere.
can't run.
No, you can give up a foul anywhere. You don't have to foul the guy with a basketball. That's the mistake of Barangay Ginebra. Foul anybody.
Now they'll call a timeout para si Japet. I think idadalhin na siya sa dugout. That's why Kirby is there. Kirby will bring him to the dugout. So strange play. Pero importante dito, si Japet can now go to the dugout para lalong maasikaso yung kanyang right knee. Always a good sign. You see a player walking on his own. after a hard fall.
Let's go, guys.
So a great development for Coach Ato Agustin.
It changes the team all of a sudden. Alam mo, pagpasok nga ni Japet, yung sinasabi natin, all of a sudden this team is one of the most athletic. Dahil sinabi mo na si Ellis, lalagay mo pa si Japet, then LA is gonna help them run along with Mark Aguila. Now, not only do they become less athletic, they also become shorter.
Under 4 minutes remaining in the opening quarter, and they give the ball to Lohorn against Dorian Peña. Oh, it's a push. And the next foul will send the Ginebra player to the free throw line. Here's Tenorio. Wilson in the ball game here, joining Barakael, Lohorn, Tenorio, and Kagiwa. For Barako Ball, Montfort, Singletary, Peña, Intal, and Mark Macapagal. Back pass by Montfort, Singletary on the left side against Wilson. Shot clock down to 12. Barako Ball up by 3. And here's Montfort from the corner. Rebound Dorian Peña. New shot clock for Barako Ball. Montfort attacks, and the runner is good.
Doesn't really take a lot of 2-point shots. He takes 2/3 of his shots from the 3-point range. But right there, because you have to respect that 3-point shot which he's making so far, able to get down in the middle, wala nang bantay doon.
Now it's a 5-point advantage for Barako Bull. And Lohorn fires from the outside. Second miss from the perimeter, and a foul in the backcourt. I think it's against Willie Wilson. That's his first. They have a timeout with 2:36 remaining. Barako Bull, believers out of doubters like Jason here. Hindi.
Nice thing about Evan Montfort is there were a lot of talk when he entered and he was already playing for Barako during the preseason. Pero nasaktan siya, but it did not allow that did not stop him from continuing on with yung kanyang kumpiyansa, because he was during the preseason he was already doing fairly well.
And then he broke his hand.
Yes.
Tapos nawala siya. Normally pag ganun rookie ka, madi-derail yung yung excitement mo for your first tournament.
And he was a rookie na draft that didn't have any certainty kung makakapirma siya o hindi.
Right.
But he was able to impress so much during the preseason that they were willing to wait it out with a broken hand.
Meantime, JJ Helterbrand goes in, and for Barako Bull, Eman Montfort sits down for Celino Cruz. Here's Macapagal. 7-point lead for Barako Bull with under 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Josh Urbistondo is now part of the ball game here for Ginebra. Lohorn. Back to Urbistondo. Shot clock down to 9. Helterbrand. Helterbrand pulling up, and that's good.
Playing that off-guard position, JJ, that's the thing that he can do. He'll just flare to the sides and be able to get that 3-point shot for himself. Or long two, rather.
Peña outside. Keith Jensen will miss. Jensen again. Still no go, and there's Singletary taking care of business and giving Barako a what is this? A 7-point lead. Sorry. Lumabas ang kryptonite, mathematics.
But you know what? Barako Bull, they put up 24 points here and quietly have built a 7-point lead.
Willie Wilson connects. So 30 seconds remaining before the end of the opening quarter. Mark Macapagal in motion. And here's Singletary. Shot clock winding down. Jensen.
Good job on the part of Dorian. Lots of rebounds para dito sa Barako Bulls at the end of this first quarter.
5 seconds to go before the end of the opening quarter, and Mac Barakael fires, connects with a three. Is that a 3-pointer or a 2-pointer? I guess it's just a 2-point shot. But they're checking. Okay, they're checking right now. Our referees are checking the monitor, and it's a 3-point shot.
You guys are still watching PBA on IBC. Sinundan ko kanina si Japet after that bad fall. At sabi niya, the left side of his right knee is hurting really bad. At naramdaman daw niya na medyo may kumalas daw. He was assessed by Dr. Calma and the team PT. So far naman daw intact, but the possibility of MCL was mentioned. And now, they're on the way to the hospital para magpa-MRI. Balik sa inyo, guys.
You know, we don't like it when we hear about yung injuries to, you know, any player. More so, member pa ng national team natin yan. So, you know, iniisip na, syempre, you know, the immediate future, iniisip ni Japet yung Ginebra in this tournament. But syempre, iniisip din natin, ano epekto? We are going to Spain next year.
Yes, and
we are going. Nag-apply na ako.
Pero ka na, visa ka na. But you know what? You have to feel bad for players that get injured after coming off such a high in terms of confidence. You know that Japan is playing with a lot of confidence right now for his new team. And then, pag nasaktan ka, parang ang hirap nun as a player na bawiin ulit yung kumpiyansa mo. Dahil magsistart ka na naman sa zero eh.
And you know, Japet really magically found his confidence in the biggest tournament of his life. So as Erica mentioned, if you missed her report, Japet now on his way to the hospital to get an MRI to get a better assessment of his knee. And unfortunately, yun nga, nabanggit yung possibility na MCL.
And the thing is, players know, when you feel something, sabi nga may naramdaman siyang kumalas. That's the thing, when you feel something like that, it's always a bad sign. But of course, the good thing though para kay Javier, we did see him walking, but walking gingerly.
Nakapag-free throw pa nga. We're all hoping for the best. It doesn't matter if you're a Ginebra fan or not. He's part of the national team. In the meantime, Billy Mamaril connects on the twirling move, and he has 4 points off the bench. That will cut down Barako Bulls' lead to 3.
He's going to experience a little bit more minutes, speaking of Billy Mamaril without Japet.
Dorian Peña connects.
You know, Dorian Peña has actually given a good account of himself ever since pumasok siya. He's got 2 points. You know, those are his first 2 points, but 3 offensive rebounds to his name.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, because I follow a lot of these Barako Bull players on Instagram, I think the guys like Danny Siegel and Dorian Peña, may incentive sila eh. If they get a lot of rebounds, I believe yung team manager treats them to breakfast sa next practice. That's a pretty good incentive.
Kay Dorian, para okay yan.
Oo. Ayos yan, boss. Yeah, to sila Mick, Dorian, DS. Basta maganda rebounding numbers nila. I think they get extra pancakes sa next practice.
Tatlong itlog, hindi na dalawa. Yung ano nila, tapsilog nila.
We are in the early moments of the second quarter, and Ginebra still trailing here as Billy Mamaril.
6 points para kay Billy Mamaril, all here in the second. Actually, the 6 points of Ginebra, all coming from Billy Mamaril.
3 minutes having gone by here in the second period, and that's a foul against Mac Barakayan. First personal against Barakayan, and that's the first team foul against Ginebra here in the second period. Going over the gentlemen on the hard court for Barako Bull, Danny Siegel, Ron J. Buenafe. Siegel connects, is likewise there with Mick Benisi and Pete Jensen.
This Barako Bull side, they seem to be getting more comfortable to the sets that they run. Pag natatrap sila o tumitigil yung offense, they have a very good idea kung nasa yung mga kampi nila.
Is it another way of saying that they're getting more comfortable with the Toroman system.
Yes, and because you can see that they're always starting out, there's pick and rolls at the top, and then after, defenses will play the pick and roll differently. Now they know how if the defense plays it a certain way, dito ako titingin, ito yung malilibre na to. It's a lot more smoother this conference.
Rebound picked up by Willie Wilson. Ginebra still down by 5. Bistordo out of control in that sequence, and vicious bounce pass from Keith Jensen, and it's a turnover.
Plays actually for both sides. On one end, nakita nga natin Barangay Ginebra, not a good pass, and that would mean LA Tenorio coming back, because you can feel it right now in this game. That first 4 minutes nung ating second quarter, it almost was parang zombie walk yung nangyari pa rin doon sa parehong koponan. Not one team really showing that, oh, I want this quarter. And both coaches realize it. That's why they're sending back their 8 troopers.
White Walker is gone.
Ay, malapit na. Malapit na.
Kakatapos mo lang eh. A spin there by Willie Wilson. Foul on Danny Siegel. Sarcastic smile on his face. Nice pass from LA Tenorio. And bonus free throw coming up here for Willie Wilson.
Now, if Barako wants to be successful, they have to find a way to get LA Tenorio out of that shaded area, because he keeps on getting there. Tapos nabibigyan niya ng pasa yung mga kampi niya. A number of times his teammates have not been able to make the basket, pero nagugulo yung depensa ng Barako Bull.
7.5 to go in the second period, and offensive foul here. I think it's against Evan Montfort.
Kinatawan.
Kasi katawan ni Eman eh. Ay, that's his advantage over other unions.
Low center of gravity.
And then, I think nagkaro yung bachoy biceps niya, oh. Pride of Ano ba Billy Mamaril?
I know.
Billy Mamaril has made immediate impact in this game, coming off the bench. There's Billy Mamaril again.
Opportunity happens sa mga players. They didn't expect that he was going to get extra minutes dahil nawala si Japet, but it's what you do with the opportunity, and right now Billy Mamaril doing a lot with the opportunity given to him.
It pays to be ready.
Yes. Yeah, they say the best talent is actually availability. When you're available to play, at least mayroon ka ng pag-asa na magpakita ng laro.
Here's Tenorio. Marakel, shot clock down to 12. And Billy Mamaril, not that time. Rebound, Buenafe. We're all tied up at 33. Barako led by as many as 7 points. And here's a steal. LA on hold. And preemptive foul by Nick Pinisi.
Say what you want about Nick Pinisi, but he, more often than not, makes the right play. Right there, saving 2 points for his team.
Look at the numbers of Billy.
So right now, it's the locals para dito sa Barangay Ginebra. The locals have scored the last 14 points for this team.
So the lead is back with Ginebra, 36-33. Singletary pulls Barako Bull within 1.
Di mo papansin, 16 na yung ginagawa ni Mike Singletary. But you almost don't notice it because it's actually within the flow of things so far para sa Barako.
So it's actually a good sign.
Yeah, you don't
hindi
see
mo napapansin.
Oh, dahil hindi mo naman siya nakikita nagwa one-on-one dyan at tinitigil yung opensa nila.
In the meantime, pansin naman that Mac Barakel is having a splendid shooting night. Barakel now with 8 points. Naman pa rin ang Ginebra, 38-35. We've crossed the halfway mark of the second quarter as Montfort sends it to Mick Penisi for 3. Ginebra players on the court: Tenorio, Barakel, Lohorn, Mamaril, and Hildebrand. Missed there by LA. duty foul there from JJ Helterbrand. First personal against JJ. Second team foul against Ginebra. We have a timeout. Ginebra on top, 38. Danny Siegel made his first free throw and about to take his second. Just a few feet from us, Asi Taulava is here. Ba't mo siya nandito? Alam mo dito nga, tanong mo nga. Pero siya nandito.
Pero kanina mula first game nandiyan na yan.
Nanonood. Of course, si Asi is actually in the middle of a long off-season. May off-season na NFL. Ayan, oo. Asi, why are you here?
Hindi. Sabi nung nasa likod, pagkakataon ko na to, may dala akong pansign.
Tanong kaya natin kay Eric, bakit ba nandito si Asi? Ha? Tanong din natin kay Sherry. Manager ni Asi, presidente ng Jason Webb Solid Pants Club Philippines yan eh.
Alam ko ba't nanonood si Asi. Pinapanood niya yung mga kasabayan niya.
Oo, dyan sila DS, Dorian, Mick. Evan Munford for 3. No go. Rebound, Helterbrand. Ginebra down by 1 here. We approach the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. Here's Lohorn.
Tahimik na si Lohorn ever since that first quarter. Ginebra has not gotten anything mula kay DR Lohorn.
Blocking foul on Lohorn on that drive by Danny Siegel. And for more on Danny Siegel, let's go to Eric.
It's a big game for Barako going against Ginebra, and the supporters of the barangay kaya naman they have to bring extra energy. Tiwala naman si Danny na kahit gumagawa si na LA, their defense covers all other players kaya they're not that worried. He's just really thankful for being healthy. Eating right allows him to do a lot during practices that transcends to actual games. Balik sa inyo, guys.
I don't know what is yung eating
Ako rin
right.
yun ang iniisip ko eh.
Ano kaya yung eating?
Bumabalik yun doon sa rebounds. Marami yung rebound, marami silang kakainin sa almusal. Extra malunggay.
Ito seryoso to. If you're a PBA player, how important is it to eat right?
Well, you used to have a dietitian, as we see Mike Secretary here getting fouled. He used to have a dietitian, and he would always tell us that day before the game, 24 hours before the game, fish. Oh.
So hindi kayo mag-carbo loading before the game? Wala, no?
Depende, iba-iba eh. Actually, basta ang doon, lagi pinaalala sa amin, is that before a game, 24 hours before, you should always have yung madali ma-digest.
Okay. A win is hard-hitting MMA action in PXC 39. Mark Mugen-Striegel, the Beast, up against Jang Yong Kim for the featherweight title, September 14, 8 p.m. at the United Sports Arena, Pasig City. Buy your tickets now. Mapapanood din sa Action TV on September 15 at 9 p.m. Here's Mark Kagiwa back in the ball game. Mark goes to Barako. They swing it to LA, who has not scored tonight. Kick out para kay Mark. Mark fires a 3. LA gets that rebound against Big Pinisi. Takes a lot of guts to fight for the rebound against Big.
Just mentioned earlier, LA Tenorio has not scored, but he has done, and he does other things for his team. He's already got 5 assists, and you can see right here the effort on the part of LA. Kahit mas maliit, paunahan niya.
Rexona Power Rebound brought to you by Rexona Men with 50% more long-lasting protection so you can do more. Three minutes to go in the first half. Ginebra down by 4 points. LA zigzagging, finds Barako. He's been hot.
Good look though.
and that's good for a three.
I remember watching him in college. It seems that he's actually a better shooter now than he was in college because he's shooting over 50% from the three-point line at this point.
Here's Dior Lohorn connecting under the basket. Oleman actually joined Ateneo primarily as a shooter. And then I think yung last year niya, he really concentrated on defense. But nakalimutan rin ang shoot. Bali, champion naman siya.
Isa-isa lang yung kailangan.
Oh, one at a time. As LA, erased by Singletary. And here's Buenafed chased by Ellis. And Brgy will miss.
Good effort on the part of Chris Ellis. Hinabol niya yung bola doon. And he was able to change the shot of Brgy.
It wasn't as exciting as a chase down block, but just as effective. However, Barako is still ahead by 5 points, 45-40, with under 2 minutes to go in the second period. Back in a moment.
Dandruff.
Of course, the lovely lady in the middle is Ms. R.R. Enriquez. Naturally cheering on J.J. Hilterbrand. Meantime, Chris Ellis is on the line kasi penalty na yung Barako Bull and there was a loose ball foul on Ronjay Buenafer earlier. And Ellis missing both. So it's still a 5-point Barako Bull lead.
Could have been a 4-point swing. In the essence, ano yan, 4-point swing in reverse ulit. Parang ganun rin, parang natuloy na rin yung layup kanina ni Ronjay. Ronjay very, very aggressive in today's game.
Here's Mark Kakiwa. LA, Lohorn, and that ball goes out. This will allow the entry of Dylan Ababu. Baka nakalimutan sa Ginebra yan, ha? Nice to see Dylan back as Lohorn.
Lalim nung team na rin itong Ginebra dahil sa mga pick-up nila throughout the conferences that have passed because they even have who else is there in the bench? Nakita natin si Rico Meyerhofer, hindi na rin ginagamit pero former Rookie of the Year.
JC, Monfort fires again. Not that time. Rebound, Dorian, Ronjay. Aggressive. Like his singular purpose tonight is to try and score 50 points. But you know, you need a guy like a Ronjay for you because if someone's aggressive and someone is penetrating, it creates opportunities. Unless, of course, ayaw yung ni Raiko.
Yeah. But right now, when you look at that Barako Bulls side, you have to say that at this point in their career, Ronjay is the best guy in terms of creating a shot for himself.
When you go through that Barako Bull lineup.
Yes. And he's attacking the basket with that in mind.
You know, I don't think you acquire Ronjay and then you just ask him to park himself outside the three-point line. He can do that, but he can do many more things.
Ang galing niya kasi kumontra tempo eh. You know, he really is a guy that uses a lot of quickness.
Good swipe by Dorian.
Yeah, Dorian's actually done the best job on Dior the entire night among all the big men na nilagay kay Dior.
30 seconds before the end of the first half. Here's Singletary up against 3 defenders and he still scores. Points for Mike Singletary. And it's now an 8-point lead for Barako Bull, their biggest lead of the ball game. Now Ginebra hoping to write the last sentence of the second chapter. And Mark Kakiwa has the basketball. Here's LA. LA still scoreless tonight. Lohorn, no! And that's how we'll end the first half with Barako Bull on top by 8.